What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be changing the oil in our 3-liter Duramax Chevy. We are going to be using 0W20 Dexos D Mobile One oil, and we are going to be using the AC Delco PF66 oil filter. I know there's a lot of back and forth and controversy about what oil filter to use. I chose this one because this is the one that GM uses. So just for potential warranty issues, I'm just going to maintain with the same oil filter. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to just loosen this cap. I don't know if it's really necessary, but I feel like we can give it some air to breathe. If you do notice, right on your cap it will say to use SAE 0W20 Dexos D diesel. All right, using my trusty 2.5 gallon Home Depot bucket that I use for my oil changes. And at 15, we're going to remove this bolt here, and we're going to allow all of the old oil to drain out into the bucket. All right, I like to just give it a second to make sure we drain as much of that old oil out as possible into our good old trusty Home Depot oil bucket. Get yourself a little rag, wipe everything clean. I think it's dripped out enough. We're going to get our oil bolt back in. Go ahead and hand tight that. Torque spec for that, it's going to be 18 foot-pounds of torque. Some people just give it a couple of ooga moogas. Some people torque it down. I usually torque it down to 18 and just add a little extra strength on that. So let me just wipe this off, and then we'll go ahead and torque it down to 18 foot-pounds. All right, trying to do this with one hand. We'll see how it works out. We got our Harbor Freight torque wrench. Nothing fancy, but it'll do. Put it here. We're gonna go ahead and just torque this down to 18 foot-pounds of torque. Let me adjust my hand real quick. All right, we're gonna torque down to 18 foot-pounds. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to the oil filter side, and we're gonna loosen this guy up. I've been driving the truck around for a little bit this morning, so it is a little hot. I'm gonna start off by loosening it just a little bit, enough to let some of that dribble out, and then once we let some out, we'll go the rest of the way. These do make a little bit of a mess, so I recommend just loosening just a tad at first. Sorry if this is gonna be a little bit hard to watch, just trying to adjust the bucket so we don't get oil all over the ground here. But I let it just dribble out a little bit at first, and then once that dribbling kind of slows down, we can take it the rest of the way out. That way we don't make a huge mess. And there will be a little bit of oil left over in that oil filter, so when you take it out, you want to just kind of gently flop it over into the Home Depot bucket. All right, the oil has subsided and dripping out of the oil filter, so let's see how big of a mess we're going to make pulling it the rest of the way. It is hot, so I'm kind of worried that I'm going to drop this, but we'll see how it all works out. Probably should grab a glove. Give me 1 second. All right, got that old oil filter out. As stated before, it is an AC Delco PF66, which is exactly what we went with. Last person to change our oil was Chevy, so just a little verification that this is, in fact, the oil filter that GM does use. When I put my oil filter back in, I do like to get a dip of that old motor oil. You can use the clean stuff too, doesn't really matter. And just kind of give a good little wiper on the O-ring there. Doesn't have to be too much, just a little bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and replace our oil filter. Me personally, I just get these as hand tight as I possibly can. I've never had an issue with it before. I know that there's a torque spec for it. I've always just done it like this, so I'll provide the torque spec in the next clip just for those of you who want it. All right, we're all done underneath the car now. I did look it up, just getting back to the oil filter torque spec. Actually, what it says is once the O-ring has seated, to give it 3/4 to 1 full turn after that. So I'd say we're good. Now we are gonna add our 7 quarts of our 020 Dexos D. Again, per the owner's manual, it is 7 quarts. Okay, now I did get a little bit ahead of myself on this step. I already did it, but I'm gonna do it again just to show you guys how to get there. The vehicle does have to be running to get here, but on your home screen, you're going to click over to the right, and then you're going to be on your little information page. You're going to scroll until you see your oil life. There's fuel filter, def, speed, trip 1, trip 2, fuel range, oil life. So what you're going to do is you're going to click OK to reset. It's going to say, are you sure? You're going to click over to the right. Yes, you want to reset. And that'll reset your oil life to 100. That's pretty much all there is to it. We've gone back, we've checked the torque spec on the drain bolt. We've made sure our oil filter is nice and tight. Double checked our oil filler cap. All is said and done. So if you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to reach out in the comment section. Thank you for watching.